Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole, and today I'm going to be coloring a Harry Potter coloring book. Um, this is the unofficial one, and I picked this up, and I found it was interesting because besides the illustrations, which some of them really are kind of interesting, it's more book related than it is movie related. The characters themselves are clearly the actors from the movies, but the rest of the illustrations kind of veer towards the books. So I thought it'd be fun just to pick it up and color it in. So something I have done for the past few years is buy coloring books based off of movies and TV shows. I started doing this when I just started doing pastels, and it was a way to practice different techniques of drawing pastel portraits without having to worry about drawing. It's all drawn for me, and I can just fill it in. And I'll go ahead and show you. I've done that with Downton Abbey. This is the only one I've bought a bunch, but this is the only one I've actually colored in. So I've worked on a few here. And these are all different techniques as well. Some are a little more straightforward than others. This one's probably the best one, and I'm going to be using a similar technique today. This one had a layer of green laid down first, and then I added all the other elements and colors on top of it. And I think that's probably the most realistic one. And I think it turned out quite beautiful. And there's a few others in here where I just use their actual skin tones, like pinks. I like adding a different layer underneath that brings out the actual tone. So the green really worked out, and that's a thing I've seen another artist do. And I'll write his name here because it's blanked me at the moment. But his pastel work is so beautiful, and he always starts with a layer of green. Lucius Malfoy I decided to start with first. It's because he has a more interesting face. I like people who are older are more fun to draw because they have lines on their faces and shadows and just more character. And I did start with the green layer, but it was kind of light. I didn't go that dark on the green. And I kept the darker of the green on the lower part of his face. If you love art and you love movies, go ahead and hit subscribe. That's pretty much what I focus on, is art and movies, and in that theme. However, with the SAG and the WGA striking right now, it might be a little more art intensive than movie talking, but we're going to get back to that. you can see with the dark lines on his face, on Lucia's face, on all the drawings I'm going to be doing, on all these illustrations, they stand out so much that I feel like it loses the realism. So I went ahead and took a white pastel and marked off all the black lines. Unless it was like exactly in the shadow, then I could leave it, but most of the lines I had to gray out a little bit just to make the realism pop a little bit more. Once I was done with Lucius, I am like, well, do both Malfoys and do Draco. And this one has an interesting challenge because his teeth are showing, and in the illustration, they have the lines going through the teeth. I'm going to attempt to try something and use white gouache that's not watered down at all, and paint over those, and just the teeth, just to start with a clean slate. Here it is all dry. You can see the lines a little bit still, but that's okay because we're going to be covering it up anyways. And I considered not using the green on this one, but he's a Slytherin, so green it is. So I already knew that these dark lines were going to be covered up with the white as I went, so with Lucius I waited until the end to really cover them up, but I was covering them up as I went with this one. And here's our result of Lucius and Draco side by side. I think they turned out pretty well. It was a lot of fun to do, and we're definitely going to do a little more of these, and probably some other coloring books that I've acquired as well. I'll see you in the next one.